Hello everyone and welcome to the Blue Corner. Before I go any further in this video, I just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone for helping me reach 300 subscribers. I started this channel back in the spring and I didn't actually think I'd come along like this far so soon. And I just want to say thank you all to watching my videos, commenting on them, rating them. As of right now, my most popular videos are On the Horizon TG Agents and my Gem Knights versus that wonky Fable build. So, and I've noticed my Gem Knight videos in particular are very popular. So, I believe at some point, in addition to these Waking the Dragon segments I'm doing, I'm going to discuss Gem Knights to some extent. Because I really do like these guys, and I really do want to build decks on Gem Knights in the future. But anyway, so that's that for now and later on. Today's episode is Waking the Dragon segment number 9. I'll be doing a discussion on Photon Shockwave, and that would be cards to watch out for this set that are relevant to you, that are bad, and just the set as a whole and what it will do to the game. There are some things you're going to need to take in consideration with your deck building as a result of what Photon Shockwave will have out. So let's just get right down to this, shall we? First up, Alexandrite Dragon. Well, I've already gone over this in a previous video, so what I'll be seeing here is a bit redundant. He's still a pretty nice card, 2000 beats, no drawbacks, level 4. As far as what you can really use him, I just don't know. I don't have the deck space for this guy at the moment, and a lot of people running Disaster Dragon can't really splash this guy into their standard and other builds. You pretty much would have to try and make a different build around this guy. He's still nice. I would definitely grab a playset though, because he's an ultra rare dragon, and those things are always nice to have. Then we get our other normal dragon type monster in the set, and that is Rabby Dragon. He is a level 8 light dragon type monster with 29. Why are we even looking at this guy? I don't even know why they made him. There's no point in really going after Rabby Dragon when you got an even superior level 8 light normal type dragon monster out there. Yeah, Rabby Dragon just seems like a bit of a waste. Well, when you've got Blue Eyes, and he's been reprinted a couple times too, so even if you want your shiny Blue Eyes, it won't be that hard to get. Plus, he's going to be reprinted in the Draconic Legion structure deck. On the note of high-level normal monsters, there's one other dragon in this set that's talked about, but is not good, and this is going to be where the bulk of my ranking here is, and that would be Thunder End Dragon. Thunder End Dragon is a rank 8 light dragon type monster with 3000 attack. His defense is irrelevant. His effect is once per turn you can remove a material to destroy all other monsters on the field, and he requires 2 level 8 normal monsters in order to be made. So that right there kills a lot of how you can drop this guy. One, he needs 2 level 8 monsters. That in itself is extremely hard to pull off, even in like heavy synchro decks. Furthermore, it has to be normal, so you can't even go say Stardust, Scrap Dragon, make a rank 8. Not that you want to do that regardless, but yeah, you have to use normal monsters. Well, okay, you could just use 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, and that's true. You could use 2 Blue Eyes, but even then, how often can you effectively get 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons onto the field to the point where you could consistently rank 8 exceed summon? Even Egg and SOL Hopeless Dragon decks can't put Blue Eyes out that fast, that often. The most likely way you're going to be having 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field is on one turn you have Darkness Metal Dragon, summon one. Then on another turn you have Darkness Metal Dragon, summon another one. Okay? Then you can make your ranking exceeds and blow up everything else to get a 3000 attack shot in. Okay. The problem with this though is, if you're at the point where you have a Darkness Metal and a Blue Eyes on the field, they're attacking, they're still in the field by the time your next turn comes up, your opponent's in a situation where you're probably going to be winning with another shot from these guys regardless. At this point, making a Thunder End Dragon would just be pointless, and yeah, he's just a gigantic win more card. In the other scenario, if you've got Darkness Metal and 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field, you've already got game right here. 3000, 6000, 8800. Direct attacks from all 3 of these guys would get you the win. Making a Thunder End Dragon just to get a 3000 shot in is a very, very, very not wise idea. Then there's a situation of how often you'd actually be needing his effect. Thunder End Dragon's effect is only going to be useful to you when you're in a situation where you're horribly outnumbered by a whole bunch of cards and you need to nuke them all off the field for Thunder End Dragon, which involves, of course, getting 2 Blue Eyes Red Dragons out onto the field. Problem with that is, though, you're probably not going to be doing that unless you have a Darkness Metal Dragon already in play, or you go Standby Phase Totem, Tribute Summon Blue Eyes, Monster Born the other one, and go from there. In that situation, you would get a plus, but that's a very, very, very situational and unlikely thing to happen. And again, if you're in that kind of situation, you're able to build up a presence of these 3 guys. What monsters out there can stand up to this? Now, to Thunder End Dragon's credit, it does give egg decks something that they have been lacking for a bit, and that is an out to the notorious Spear Reaper and Marshmallow. Egg builds, more often than not, do not run Delta Flyer or Dread Dragon. They just run the White Stone of Legend. And if they decide to be using Totem Dragons, then Allied Justice Catastor can't be made for a while. And even then, Catastor doesn't get rid of Spirit Reaper. So, normally, an egg deck does not have an out to a Spirit Reaper or Marshmallow walling you. And it is annoying trying to get around that. And Thunder End Dragon does allow you to get rid of the Reaper. But Photon Shockwave happens to have a monster that also gets rid of Reaper, and it doesn't involve negging the hell out of yourself. So all in all, Thunder End Dragon is a bad card. You just aren't going to be making it that often, and even if you do have one, see how often you make it when you need to make it, not as a gigantic win more, like in the manner of, well, I've already got games, so I can make Thunder End Dragon just to show that I can make it. Exactly. While on the subject of normal monsters, there is one card in this set that I do want to talk a little bit, and that is the counter trap card, Ruler's Penetrating Gaze. This card can only be activated while you control a level 7 or higher normal monster. Upon doing so, you get to negate the activation of a spell card, trap card, or negate the summon of a monster and destroy it. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's basically a solemn judgment. Here we are. It's basically a solemn judgment for vanilla monsters. Okay? Even better, dragons happen to have 2 of the most famous level 7 and higher normal monsters in the history of the entire game. And that would be this badass and this badass. If you happen to be running a dragon deck, be it Disaster or something else, that consistently gets these guys out, then Ruler's Penetrating Gaze is live, and it gives you an amazing level of control. It's basically 3 more Solemn Judgments to your 1 Solemn Judgment, or it's 3 more Solemn Warnings in addition to your 2 Solemn Warnings you already have in the deck. If you're playing something that special summons a whole lot and you don't want to burn all your life points trying to stop all those things, then Ruler's Penetrating Gaze will negate all those powerful inherent special summon monsters, Christia, Hyperion, Grapha, Synchro monsters. Ruler's Penetrating Gaze will kill those special summon monsters that Thunder King Ryo can kill. Just remember though, you cannot use it to kill a monster special summon through a card effect, such as a Ritual Summon, a Fusion Summon, or Monster Born. In that case, you have to Ruler's Gaze, the Monster Born, or the Miracle Fusion. But even then, Ruler's Gaze's ability to hit those spells and traps that you don't want to burn a Solemn Judgment on is very nice. If you're able to get a Blue Eyes or a Red Eyes out into the field, set some back row with a Ruler's Gaze, and they go her heavy storm, you can Ruler's Gaze the storm. What decks can make use of this, though, as far as Disaster Dragon goes? The Egg and Kokuandang, respectively. Both have their ways of getting their guys out. Kokuandang can use Red Eyes Black Dragon with Red Eyes Wyvern to special this guy back to the field from the graveyard. The Egg can search out Blue Eyes thanks to the White Stone of Legend. Then you pitch Blue Eyes for trade in, draw 2, you use Darkness Metal Dragon to revive Blue Eyes. Then your Ruler's Gaze is live right there, or you stand by Phase Totem of Blue Eyes. Either way, if you happen to be playing these type of dragon decks, you definitely need to get your hands on a playset of Ruler's Penetrating Gaze. Thankfully, it's a common, so that shouldn't be too hard. Hell, you might even be able to pick up a playset from your sneak peeks. I'm hoping I will. And then, the last of the notable cards to talk about that are good for you would be our cover card, Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I have to admit, when I first saw this guy, I was not initially impressed by him. However, things change, and Galaxy Eyes now is becoming more and more useful the more I play with him. His effect of Special Summon itself is irrelevant. You're not going to be using that. You can just revive him with Darkness Metal Dragon, and he's level 8, so you can use him in trade-in. In fact, I highly recommend, if you're running any dragon build that has 3 Light and Darkness Dragons, again, cut one Lad for a Galaxy Eyes. This guy works well alongside Lad, actually. So I'm running a 1 Galaxy Eyes, 1 Lad in my deck at the moment, and it's working out pretty nicely. Galaxy Eyes' effect is when it battles during either player's battle step, you can remove this card and target you target the monster you're battling with, then you remove both from the game. At the end of the battle phase, Galaxy Eyes comes back. If the monster he removed was an Xyz monster, then you get 500 attack for each overlay unit that was attached to the monster. Galaxy Eyes' effect is also quick, so you can use it to swing at a Utopia, and then you can banish him before, in response to Utopia's effect. And basically, you can attack a Utopia and remove it before he can negate your attack. Galaxy Eyes comes back with 4,000 attack. Utopia comes back without any materials. Very nice. Galaxy Eyes also solves that one problem of Spirit Reaper and Marshmallow, like I mentioned before. You can just simply attack the Spirit Reaper with Galaxy Eyes, remove both from the game, and then proceed to swing through with Darkness Metal Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon in the egg. Also very nice. Lastly, his effect is quick, as I mentioned, so when you attack with him, it is the battle step, so that's when your opponent can chain cards as Dimensional Prison, Mirror Force, Book of Moon, yada yada yada. You attack with Galaxy Eyes, they try to prison it off, you remove him from the game along with their monster, and their card fizzles because it has no target. You can also use this in a couple other ways. In a Lightsworn duel I had, my opponent revived Honest, and then he put it back to the hand and almost summoned a monster. And I happened to have a Darkness Metal Dragon on the field, or I'm trying to remember what exactly was. But basically, I was at a situation where I was able to get Galaxy Eyes out, and when my turn came, I told my opponent as such, it's like, just so you know, Galaxy Eyes' effect activates during the battle step. So I can remove your monster before you have a chance to use Honest to kill it. He was like, well, crap, and that was GG. So Galaxy Eyes is a very nice one-of tech in Disaster Dragon. I would definitely try and play around with it if you like it. If you don't, it's alright. Your choice. Personally, I do like one of these in Standard, the Egg, and Light and Darkness Disaster. He's just been really helpful for me as of late. And yeah, his ability to basically get around Getcha Getcha Kitetsu, Utopia, wind up Zen Mines with more and more powerful Xyz monsters coming out. Galaxy Eyes' anti-Xyz effect is becoming a very, very powerful ability. So yeah, that's it for that one. So those were all the cards that were for us in regards to Photon Shockwave. Now as for what everyone else is going to be getting out of this set, Photon Shockwave is going to be doing a couple of things. One, it's going to make Dark Worlds more playable thanks to the release of Dark Smog. Two, Rescue Rabbit is in this set, which of course means we will be having to deal with Rescue Rabbit Logia builds. The TCG has been kind enough to give Rescue Rabbit Logia decks another rank 4 Dinosaur Xyz monster that happens to be a Divine Wrath on legs. Yeehaw! So you got them to worry about. Furthermore, the Rescue Rabbit decks are starting to tech Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos into their builds because they don't need the graveyard for their stuff, especially with D-Fissure out, because Xyz materials go straight to the graveyard. Dimensional Fissure can't do anything about that. So with Dimensional Fissure out, Rescue Rabbits can recycle their graveyard while we lose access to ours. It just so happens to be convenient enough that this type of Rescue Rabbit deck also hurts agents, plants, and Dark Worlds very hard by, again, eliminating the graveyard. Furthermore, Dark Worlds will be getting access to Dark Smog, which stinks as they can chain it in response to our standby phase Totem Dragon, or they can use it in response to Red Eyes Wyvern's effect. What's a Dragon player to do? Well, for one thing, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon in the main is a very good idea to consider. One, people don't really expect more than that second one, so when you hit the 2 cards with your 2 MSTs, they're like, okay, that's not too bad. Then you throw out that third one afterwards, like, really? You got a third MST? And it just helps in eliminating the ever-growing amount of back rows that are being played. Plus, it's chainable, so you can use it when your opponent's like doing stuff with, again, Dark Smog or their field spell. You're going to use field spell, using it when Gravekeepers have their Necrovine on the field. Just 3 MST is definitely something to consider in your main build. After that, yeah, the meta, once Photon Shockwave comes out, is pretty much going to be coming down to Agents, Plants, Dark Worlds, Karakuri, Rescue Rabbit, Miracle Beat, Hero Fusion Beat, and then just your also consistently powerful rogue decks like Samurai, GBs, Blackwings, so on and so on. That all being said, Photon Shockwave is a very interesting set. I don't know if you would buy a box if you're specifically looking for dragon support. The best cards are probably going to be very cheap. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is a tin promo after all, and the good track card is a common. But if you're looking to buy like others, if you want other cards in the set too, just to get started for trade bait, then yeah, I plan on buying a box because there's other cards in this set that I want. But as far as dragon support goes, you're better off buying the singles in Photon Shockwave, and then just preparing to adjust your decks accordingly for the onslaught of new and wonky stuff. That all being said, thank you guys for watching. Until the next time, take care.